Hey guys, this is Claybo here with Peter, also known as DeepFinesse.
Hey.
We are going to be y'all's casters for today's Fires Division Second Chance game, featuring, as you guys saw, Ryan the Man, Warack, Green Rain, GW, and Zikkop. All these guys are obviously really strong, and this is going to be an interesting game because this is the first time that all these players have a chance after they've, technically lost the game. So we'll see what happens today. And I know we've got some interesting introductions for these players for you guys too. So here we've got Ryan the Man. It says here his best factions are Fakirs, Orin, Dwarves, and it's a little blurry on my screen. Sorry, I can't see it. But it says Group E. I guess. Oh, this was his game. Sorry, now I can see. This was his placement in the second in his game. He placed 133, which was within 10 points. And he beat out Zorus and Mike Chaik. Zorus, an incredibly strong player. So I mean, that was a tough game to get second place in. He definitely had to earn it. How do
Yeah,
you
exciting game
expect?
too. I,
How do
I
you
remember
expect?
that was the game where it started hard dug a red to start the game with Doors, and everyone was very down on Doors prospects, but they still pulled out to win, and we have Ryan the second chance game.
Yeah. How do you expect Ryan to do for today's game?
I think he is a little less experienced than the other players, just based on the number of games played according to his profile. But as we've seen, he can hold his own against strong players like Zorus. So I think he has a very decent shot here.
Couldn't agree more. Next up, we've got Warack. His best factions here: Cultists, Engineers, and Darklings. Pretty standard. And then in his game that he got second place, it was against myself, Zikkop, and Christopher Ho. So he beat out, one of the Titans, which was Christopher Ho, and Zikkop played a pretty fascinating Swarmlings game. And the post analysis was that Warack maybe had a path to actually win that game if he played it slightly different. So he may have gotten second place, but he could have gotten first place. So, I definitely think Warack has some super strong plays in his cards. So how do you think he's going to do for today's game?
I think he played a very strong Doors game in the first game. And if it weren't for some Fakir shenanigans from you, we probably would have seen him advance. So yeah, I like his position here, and I think hoping to see another Doors game, another exciting Doors game here, which I always find fascinating.
I agree. All right, so now we've got Green Rain GW. Best factions with him is Halflings, Mermaids, Fakirs. So in that game, he got second to Barnawal, but he placed higher than Rainior and J-Stu. So he definitely took out an incredibly strong player along the way, and he played an incredibly interesting opening with that bizarre second dwelling up in the top right. Nobody knew if it was good or bad, and apparently, he made it work. It wasn't enough for a win, but it worked.
I'm just gonna say it was not good. And he was a little fortunate to pull that out. But we'll see if he tries anything exciting again this round.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll go for a safer option this time around and not play for such a risky opening. Because if Nomads choose to block him like they did, it just makes it so hard for Darkling. So I think we'll see a much safer game path for Green Rain, and I'm looking forward to it for sure. I know he's a super strong player. Last up, we got Zikkop. He was the only third place guy, but he was the best third place, so that still counts. He played against. He was also in the game with Warack and myself, so he played just your typical small footprint Swarmlings game, and it was good enough for 138 points, which is pretty solid. His best factions are the red, which is Chaos Magician Giants, and then the Dwarves. It'll be interesting to see if we see that today. What are your expectations for Zikkop today?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I I don't remember this morning's game very well, unfortunately. So we'll have to rely on your experience playing against him in the first game.
Gotcha. I mean, one of the big questions around Zikkop is he drinking right now? Because that could definitely enhance his performance. That's kind of the meme around Zikkop. And I think he actually uses that to strategy against his opponents because they think, oh, Zikkop, he's not paying attention. But nah, people sleep on Zikkop. That's how he catches you off guard. But
Yeah, that
that's
makes
pretty much all
sense.
of our players for today. Yeah, yeah. But that's all our players today. So we'll see what kind of game we get set up for these guys, and we'll see we'll see what these guys can do for us. I guess production's gonna go ahead and tell these players they can jump in the game. So I don't know, DeepFinesse, what's on your mind lately? What you've been up to today?
Well, we've had a little technical trouble here trying to get the stream started, but I think we have everything managed, so we should be we should be ready to go.
Yeah, everything's good now. So hopefully no more hiccups throughout the way. I mean, I know in the past I've cut in and out of the streams. So apologies if that happens again today. It's always tough getting two people to commentate. You got four players, and then you got the man behind the curtains trying to do everything. Definitely props to his name's Bizzle, but we call him production. Don't tell him. But yeah, definitely it's a lot of hard work that he puts forth. So it's really cool to see it all put together. Um,
So
do you have any
the winner of this game is going to join you in the Fire Division final, right? Who are the other two
That is
players?
correct. That
Who?
is correct. Yes. Who are the
So
other two? Yeah. Yeah, so on the bracket right here, it's Astari, um, Claybo, and Barnawal. So whoever wins this game will be in that division finals with myself. Um, and then Saturday's game is just going to be the same situation. It's all those second places playing together as well as the third place, and they're going to play to make that fourth spot against Bizzle, yourself, and Bowser Hugs in the Ice division finals, and they'll all duke it out. But we've got our game up. Um, my screen is a little blurry at the moment, so I'm gonna give it like 10 seconds to start dissecting it. If you can see it, you can go ahead and jump in and start start telling us
mhm.
what you think about it.
Yeah, so I guess we can look at the scoring tiles, the bonus tiles. The bonus tiles, we are missing the spade, so there might be a little pressure there. We're missing the ship scoring, and we see that that was a pretty big factor in the game on Saturday, where Mermaids wasn't able to score with that. And we are missing one other. I don't know my bonus tiles very well off the top of my head, so I'm blanking on. Third bonus tile, we're also missing the priest tile at the moment. And then on the scoring side, we have Stronghold, Sanctuary scoring, round 1, round 4. We have Digging round 2, which is a little difficult to take advantage of. Dwellings in round 3, and Trading Posts in round 5 and round 6. So we'll probably see factions with the plan of expanding, building a lot of dwellings in round 3, and then round out the late game with some trading posts. But since like they're back-to-back rounds, it's also a little hard to make up some points there. So the scoring track is not very favorable for scoring. We just have a round 3 dwelling round, and then we might see some big buildings built on round 4.
Surely. Yeah, there's a couple things that stick out in my mind with this track setup. The first 3 years in particular with the cult bonuses. You have the first year, which is the fire, and then the third year is also fire. And then with the second year is the earth for money. I mean, that earth for money early is always super helpful trying to get an early snowball in your game. So factions who can play on both the fire cult track and the earth cult track early to get those to reap those benefits, I think it's going to give them
Mhm.
like a little bit of a head start. And it's going to be really nice. And I think that might have been the decision why Darklings was put in as the first seat because they can both play the fire cult and the earth cult, or in their culty.
Mhm.
Also, for everybody watching last week when Green Rain did play, Zoris mentioned that Green Rain is a little bit of an orange specialist.
Hmm.
So I'm curious if he's now trying to pull out that orange specialist card, and if so, I'll definitely grab my notepad and start taking notes because I have no idea how to play Orin.
That is pretty rare, the orange specialist.
Mhm.
And as you mentioned, the code tracks, we have fire to start the code rewards. And one thing I like to look at when, like, regarding the scoring and the code track bonuses is, are there any special openings that might be favorable with this scoring track? For example, a round one dwelling rush. And with the Stronghold Sanctuary round one, what I like, one of my favorite openings is the Nomad Sanctuary opening, grabbing Fire 1 and Earth 1. And the reason why this is set up to do that is because the Fire 1 gives you an extra step on the Fire code and an extra worker bonus. So
Yeah,
I
that
do
is
like
something
that
you
if they can pick up the Stronghold Sanctuary scoring tile.
yeah, no, you don't see that very often at all. Another thing too is you're playing in a game where you have like you said, all these scoring tiles, such as the dwelling, the trading post, and the big building scoring tiles. So surely any faction that's going to build that stronghold early is going to be able to possibly, cash in their point playing that card, which might incentivize building either a stronghold or a sanctuary early. So I didn't even think about that for the nomads, but that's definitely an option for them. That
Mm-hmm.
last faction that is drafted is the Swarmlings. So I feel like I say it every time, but anytime I see yellow and blue, those are just the best color matchups to play together. I mean, they love playing together on the base map. They synergize really well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so here we have our four factions. What's your initial take on what the good factions are? What are the bad factions here, if there even are bad factions?
I like the Swarmlings very much. They're set up to grab the Stronghold Sanctuary bonus tile in fourth seat and build their Stronghold on turn one. And since the scoring track is not very conducive to scoring for everyone, that's where Swarmling shines because most of their scoring comes from passing tiles, which are present except for the
Mhm.
shipping one, and also just inherent scoring with Water One, Air One, and winning the codes.
Yeah, and we see the first bid is on the Swarmlings, so maybe Gorak agrees with your assessment. Green Rain jumps on Nomads, and maybe that's because Nomads have no color neighbor, right? So the Swarmlings or and
Hmm.
Darklings, they're all together on the color wheel, so they might be fighting a little bit over what hexes they want for themselves, but also trying to hurt each other. So Nomads don't have to worry about that. That's not to say Nomads are better because they have no neighbors, but it definitely helps. um,
Hmm.
Darklings and Orin haven't been bid on. I assume Darklings will be bid on uh, before Orin. So how bad are Orin here? I mean,
Hmm.
are
Yeah,
they?
I think
That's the
Orange,
question here.
although although typically viewed as like the traditionally weaker faction, I do like the spot that they're in the sense that there's no one to contest take away any of their hexes in the Middle Continent. So they have a pretty easy town there, going
Mhm,
from C3, the green in the middle, and extending to the green on the bottom of the southern of the Middle Continent.
mhm.
And with really no one to disrupt that plan, that gives them a very easy town there, and potentially very early town too to go for the two key town. So I'd say that they're really not that far off from the other three factions.
Okay. Um, it's kind of hard to expect where all these dwellings are going to be placed. But
Hmm.
essentially, why that's going to be important is where is the leech going to be in this game, right? So if we want to pull the hexes up, I'm looking at the hexes C1, D2, D3 as a possible starting spot for swarmlings, nomads, darklings. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not saying that that's possible, but if those three factions decide to go there, is the leech happening there, and will Orin be missing out on the leech, or will the leech
Hmm.
be happening on E5, E3, F4? A lot of this is guesswork, but what's your take on it?
Hmm. I think the lead triangle on the upper left is the more likely scenario, and that will leave Orin out in the cold. It doesn't look like Orin is going to get any other easy neighbors apart from Nomads on F3. So I don't really see Nomads grading there to start if Swarmlings start out also on the upper left.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we have to penalize Orange further in the sense that they are going to be very short on leech in round one.
So with Darkling's second dwelling, assuming Darklings goes C1, would you go E5 or would you play somewhere like G5 or E10? Or in Green Rain's case, B5, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. There is the temp ship for Darklings, so they do not really need. Well, I guess one point here is that nomads are very likely to start D3, and then we have this nomads Darkling rivalry for the B2 hex, and
Mhm.
whether like who can secure it first has expansion options in the north. So like I suppose Darklings might want to start out E5 as a safer start to guarantee connection and not have to worry about contesting B2 with nomads.
Yeah, no, that's a
Um,
very good point. That B2 hex is extremely important for both nomads and darklings if that C1 D3 happens from the two. And
mhm,
also, I guess we'll just have to go back and look at it once the dwellings are placed and once the power is being exchanged. But I think whichever factions are getting the leech in this first year is definitely going to make them a little better than what our assessments are right now because it's really hard to tell where everything's going to happen. But I think all these understand or miss out on the leash. The only other faction I could see missing out on the leech is the Swarmlings because the leech party either happens like in the triangle we were talking about C1, D2, D3, or
mhm,
E5, F3, F4. So both
mhm,
Swarmlings and Orin have this chance to miss out on the leech.
mhm,
Um, so I have no idea where it's going, but that's going to be crucial for these players to figure that out.
mhm.
And if they get lucky or unlucky with it.
So we see that in the bidding, Ryan has
I guess the
bid nomads all the way down to 20. So even though the bidding started on Swarmlings, the players are saying that nomads is quite significantly the strongest faction out of these four.
yeah, um, I don't know if I would trust nomads here going that far down in a hole just because, I mean, swarmlings are so safe with how they score victory points, like and they have the 2, pass tiles that really help them, which is the 2 worker and the 1 worker for victory points that we see here, which has the trading post and big building on it. And then darklings, I
Mhm,
mean, they're just always strong, and darklings are really interesting here because well, looking at the past tiles, it looks like swarmlings are probably gonna take the big building with 2 workers, and then nomads
mhm,
are either gonna take 3 worker, uh, 3 or sorry, not 3 worker, 3 power, 1 worker, or 3 power, and then or not really sure, sparkling's not really sure, but it looks like they're both gonna be getting coins, so is there a world that darklings get sanctuary that first round? Because if that's at all possible, that's gonna make them extremely good in this setup.
mhm. Yes, I think they are probably going to be short on way too much for that. Um, like with virtually no chance of getting the big building bonus tile. I just don't see them coming up with 4 extra workers to be able to pull that off. But like even without building a sanctuary turn one, Darklings is still just a very strong faction, and
Mhm.
26 is really a bit high for them right now. I'd say the three factions other than Orange are pretty close to each other. My money's still on Swarmlings being like favorable out of all of them, just due to how the track is set up currently.
Yeah. No, the track is definitely looking good for I mean, it looks pretty favorable to all these factions. It doesn't look to be hindering to anybody. Do the late double round trading posts affect any of your assessments on any of these factions? Do they make Swarmlings better, worse, Orin better, worse? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'd say they make me uh, like Swarmlings more because if a trading house round happens like alone or like say round three trading post scoring, the other factions can aim to build like three trading posts during that round, whereas Swarmlings only build one each turn. But since they're happening back to back, so if any faction builds three trading posts on round five, for example, they won't have really any left to build on round six. So that diminishes the disadvantage that Swarmling gets when the trading post scoring rounds are out.
Gotcha. So just another reason you're a big fan of Swarmlings this game. I haven't heard one bad thing about Swarmlings.
Yeah.
Are you worried at all that Swarmlings are color sandwiched? I mean, we talked about
hmm
Swarmlings, Darklings, Orin all together, and Swarmlings are in the middle. Does that scare
hmm
you at all?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it's really uh, a factor. Swarmlings plays very well in the sandwich position, in my experience, and they can play such a low footprint game that they just don't need that many hexes to operate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It is a little scary at first when you're first playing sandwich factions because a sandwich Swarmlings is definitely much different than, say, a sandwich Orin, right? Again, like you said,
hmm
Swarmlings can play this super small footprint game, so they can get away with a lot more. And if I'm correct, I believe all the factions were taken. So the setup is, I think that they're just setting up the whatever needs to be set up. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. We have the board here, and it looks like they were all very fast um, placing their initial dwellings. We have the leech triangle on the upper left as Claybo predicted, and we have Orin's dwelling all alone.
Yep. Um, okay. Let's see. C1. Yep. All those guys up in the triangle. What do you think the nomads do with their third dwelling? Pretty It's going to be pretty instrumental in the game path of this game because they can hurt Darklings if they decide to go A5, or they can choose to. I mean, they have a few options. I guess they go A5, but do you see anything different?
Yeah, I think A5 is probably best. That leaves them in much better position to contest the B2 hex that we discussed was a focal point for Darklings versus Nomads.
Hmm.
The east, and also like in preparation for getting leech from Orange, but I'm not liking it as much as A5.
Right. So Gwarak is having a tough decision here. Where does he place Warack? Where he's placing his second dwelling? Um, my instincts tell me G6, just because you can hurt Orin a little bit. There is a chance Darklings come and neighbor you on G5, which um, it's good and bad. But I don't know. Where's your headspace on that?
Mm, yeah, I think G6 is good. I think there may be a possibility of Swarmlings playing a larger footprint game, in
Mhm.
which case they might want to start H4 or H2 to guarantee connection. Since Orin usually plays a pretty small footprint too, they might be able to contest third place in network. They've actually started G6, so this is virtually guaranteeing that they will get last on network. But that also leaves them, they don't need a crease ship, they just can play a 7 structure, 8 structure game. Looks to be Warack's plan at the moment.
Yeah. and then o
And as
okay,
you
so
mentioned, it's
Orin
pretty heavily disruptive to Oran in the sense that Oran went E9, and now Stormlings has cut off Oran's path for the other easy town on the east continent for green. But I think Oran is pretty happy enough with like being able to form a town in the center with no disruption and a lot of leech back and forth with nomads.
mhm. Yeah, and I do like that Darklings decide to go G5, instead of E5, which is definitely an option, just because if you go E5, it looks like nomads are just, you know, they're snapping at too many of your hexes. They're snapping at E6. Well, if if nomads decided to go A5, then nomads are threatening B2. But instead, nomads decide to go with their third dwelling on G4. So now nomads, possibly, unless, okay, nomads have grabbed the temporary shipping, so they are probably gonna take away B2, and Darklings still have a little bit to worry about on F5 because that's definitely a connection point for them if they, can't get to H5 before Nomads. So all of the all of the past tiles have taken. So looks like Darklings got the cult step with the coins, and Orin got a nice 3 power, 1 worker, and as
I
predicted,
think the
Stormlings.
nomads
Mhm. Go ahead.
X on top of Darklings and threatening to cut them off immediately. I think like this sort of to me that nomads think Darklings got a good deal out of the auction, and being able to start at 24 is pretty strong. And so this is only first place matters in this game. Nomads went for a little disruption there with their third dwelling.
That that is definitely a possibility, and he does it. We also saw Ryan the Man playing
Take the
Nomads in the
double
game. He
spade.
got second.
Mhm.
So I'm I'm
They did
wondering
have
if
the
he's
nomads did have the chance.
I, I think we're on a bit of a delay, so we keep overbiting each other. But yeah, Ryan did play Ryan did play Nomads in his first game that he got second place, so maybe he's been
Who is?
practicing with them. But this is looking like a good situation for the Nomads. I do like this. It looks like he's well forfeited his your sanctuary idea, which I thought was super interesting. But we'll see.
Using temp ship to reach a couple of yellow hexes far away, but nomads declined to build a dwelling. So what this uh, tells me is that they're planning to build a temple for Earth 1 before building two other dwellings this round. That does mean that they won't be able to reach the I7 yellow because they'll have two workers left after building the temple. So they're probably building on B2 and then G2 to start.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just never a huge fan of early dwelling rushes when like you're not getting points for it in the beginning. Um, I mean, surely, like you said, Nomads isn't looking to dwelling rush here if he's building the temple for Earth One. Um, but again, I don't really love that either because I was expecting Nomads to go Fire One here with their temple just because you get an extra worker. This looks like a game you could do with a lot of gold. You could do a lot of neat things, but I guess there's plenty of coins for Ryan to make up the lack of Fire One. So maybe it's still a strong opening for the Nomads. it looks like pretty normal things are happening though. The Darklings have taken a priest from their action. Orin, they've gone up to build their sanctuary. They take Earth One, so maybe they're. I suspect this could be. They're leaving their options open. They could play a small footprint game, a big footprint game. We saw Sprockets do a super small footprint game with the Orin. He did not take Earth One though, but Green Rain is the specialist here, so he'll tell us what the best thing to do is. Gotcha. I think Peter is possibly out at the moment, so it's just me and you boys and girls, whoever's listening. um, where are we at? I guess I really like Darklings taking that extra priest. They're going to be able to send a priest to fire. They're going to be able to send a priest to earth. If they choose to take fire one, I think that could be incredibly strong and a little bit of a gamble because if Swarmlings decide to take Earth 1, then Darklings miss out on it, but this looks like Swarmlings do not want Earth 1 here, right? So, Darklings can send that Priest to fire and possibly get up to 4 steps, which is 2 workers now this year and then 4 power at the end of the 3rd year. Zikkop, this is a really, really solid start. It looks like they're still gonna be able to play for connection for sure. And that's what Fire One's gonna help them do. They're gonna need a lot of coins to fund that. They're gonna need early shipping. They're gonna be able to place a bunch of dwellings. We'll see pretty soon with the Swarmlings' first temple if they go for it, what they're gonna do. Possibly going for Stronghold and Sanctuary with the Swarmlings in this game. The Swarmlings are, and that is an incredible opening. An opening that definitely warrants the ability to take Earth One because because surely Earth One is gonna grant about as much points as Air One. And even if it's not the same, like you're still blocking another player, which is really huge. Blocking Darklings, and that's something to look forward to. Peter, you back yet?
Yes, I think so. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. I don't know if you've missed anything, but Swarmlings, can they build a sanctuary this round? Have you been looking at that?
They are missing 2 workers. They're missing some amount of coins. So if they take the coin action, they will have to convert power pretty inefficiently to get the workers, though, because Darklings has already taken the worker power action. Yeah, it seems like a pretty strong start, though. Do they have? They have
They're gonna be
not.
getting they're gonna be getting 3 power from the Darklings upgrading their trading post.
Mhm,
So take that into account of whatever you need.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean, if they're going for it, they would have to take the 7 gold, but even if they take the 7 gold, they might not decide on it.
mhm, mhm.
But if
Yeah.
they can, I think they should.
It does worry me that they will have a little trouble digging next round because there's no spade bonus tile, so they will have to get back to 6 power to dig, which might be a little difficult once they do that conversion for workers, the pretty inefficient conversion.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, anytime you open if you are luxurious enough to open with a sanctuary as the Swarmling's first round, you have to know that your next round you can build a dwelling. Because if you can't build a dwelling, then yeah, you don't get the free upgrade of the trading post, and then your whole game is just one turn behind and it's out of whack. And one turn behind for the Swarmlings is very bad. So yeah, Warack is definitely going to have to make sure that that's in the cards for him. Um, it
Mm,
maybe that might advocate him taking an economy favor over 2 scoring favors if he chooses to do so because, um, maybe taking, like, Fire 1, maybe that extra worker from Fire 1 is enough to help him do whatever he wants. Maybe taking, uh I mean, there's some options. Earth 2, Air 2. I don't really like Air 2 or I mean, Earth 2 and Fire 1 seem fine, but is it enough for what he wants to do? I just don't know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't leave him. That still only leaves him with three workers next round. Uh, Possibly four if they pass on to the three power one worker bonus tile. But then they will not be able to hard dig and build dwelling. So it'll have to be a power action, which I just don't like. It looks like it will have to depend on the opponents giving Swarmling's power around the temple.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, he has priests to use as workers if he builds the sanctuary, but it's really tough to turn those early priests into workers because they would be so valuable on the cult board. I mean, there's a bunch of 3 spots left. Um, there's there's a lot of cult rewards to be gained by those 3 spots, and yeah, I'm not
Hmm.
sure if that's what Warack would want to do here. So Nomads did take Fire 1 after stalling the that temple. Very interesting.
Hmm.
I'm wondering what the thought process is there. Like, why would you stall? Maybe he's trying to get a better pass tile that one of his opponents is holding. But we see here, he passed on to it looks like the dwelling for gold. I don't know, it's really small, but
Hmm. Yeah, the dwelling scoring
surely
tile.
yeah, surely that's not what he was stalling out for. I don't know. I mean, it's still a decent card. He's gonna have dwellings on the board.
Hmm. Yes,
Interesting, interesting.
that's yeah. I think what he might have been doing was just to keep his options open before having to commit to a decision and
Mhm.
see like what his opponent's plans are. Um, but yeah, I'm not really liking Nomad's position right now. I'm a little worried about their ability to score.
Yeah, I think a lot of times Fire 1 does really good when the shipping pass tile is in because nomads tend to want to get early shipping. They want to be able to cash in on their early shipping, and Fire One really helps them do that. So
Mhm,
they're going to have to use Fire One to score points in ways outside of shipping and outside of a bunch of dwellings. So where does that come in? And also, nomads really love building a lot of trading posts, so they might be able to cash in a ton on these trading posts late round. But like you
mhm,
said in the pregame, like it's back to back trading post rounds. So not only are you probably going to be able to score a bunch of points, but so is everybody else, right? So are you
mhm,
really making up ground at that point? I'm not
mhm.
sure.
Yes, and I also like the nomads building trading posts early, say round three, round four. Round three is probably ideal. So having the trading post scoring come in round five and round six is pretty awkward too.
Hmm.
And Nomads is starting at such a large deficit compared to Darklings and Swarmlings, two very strong factions. I don't see how they're making up with it. Like I don't see how they're making up the point difference.
Yeah, and they did start at quite a bit of a point handicap. From especially, Swarmlings and Orin. I know Darklings were pretty close to them relatively, so I guess it doesn't look, at least from what I'm looking at right now, it doesn't look too great for the Nomads. I do agree with your assessment on that, and I absolutely love the Darklings opening. The Nomads were able to take a priest and send it to Earth though, so that is really good. I expected the Darklings to have both a priest on fire and earth, but they decided year one it was probably more important to go ahead and take the hex under the Swarmlings temple and just secure that.
Hmm. Yeah. So Swarmlings did not end up going for the sanctuary, although they could have, like by burning a ton of resources. And I really like that decision, given that they're able to get the double dig, build, and they still have the option of building their sanctuary this turn if they wanted to. They could also just build another dwelling and build a sanctuary next round instead.
That's true. Do you build the sanctuary, like, the very next round, or do you wait one more round and try and get the 5 extra victory points? What what
That's always very difficult. I think I think that I usually lean towards digging as a priority and expanding out a bit more with swarmlings and getting the dwellings down.
Mhm.
But that's not really necessary for a lot of swarmlings game plans where they just keep to a small footprint. So I could see it either way.
You see it either way. Right, okay. Makes sense, just whichever one seems more beneficial to him at the time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, I do like. I think I do like the sanctuary this turn though. That will require using their priest as a worker, but I'm not sure if the Swanling's priest really wants to go anywhere in particular. Maybe to Earth for 2 coins, but that seems pretty weak with the 3 coin with the 3 spot taken.
Yeah, I mean, they could do both. It looks like they could send the priest to Earth and, gain an extra power, which then could allow them to convert all their or they could convert enough power that they had to a worker and a coin from there. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, I didn't see that. That'd be pretty strong here.
The other thing about sending the priest to Earth is that I think Swarmlings will have a rather difficult time contesting codes this game, since Orin has their stronghold out and it gives them 2 steps per turn. Um, so really, it's only turning that priest into 2 coins, and maybe a couple of points, but it yeah, it doesn't seem all that great. Like not a hugely efficient move.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Darkling's already out with their sanctuary taking the last. Oh no, there's still one more Earth one. But they take an Earth one, so now they're going to be able to build some dwellings, get some points, and the next round is 2 points for a dwelling. So surely they're going to build a ton of dwellings. I mean, they've already got 2 priests in the bag, so maybe they want to grab temp shipping, and if they can get advanced shipping +1, so that leave them at 2 shipping, they'll be able to grab so many dwellings next round, and that would be
Mhm,
extremely, extremely powerful for them.
mhm. Their sanctuary is at a very awkward spot now that Nomad has taken B2. Like Nomad has placed such a huge priority in getting to B2, taking Timship round one. So like I'm not sure what's your plan with the sanctuary. Like if it were you, I guess you
If it
still
was
town, but
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about towning. It's always an option
Mhm,
later on in the game if things lean that way, but yeah, in my mind, if I'm Darklings right here, the main thing is let's go ahead and start grabbing up my black hexes before trouble starts a brewing. So I would, get some early shipping, try and grab all these black hexes that are 2 steps away. And then, come
mhm,
year 4, year 5, year 6, even if there's a bridge opportunity and I know nomads aren't going to be digging away those hexes, the green hex above it and the blue hex right next to it, then sure, I'll build the town. But, and that's just my thinking. It could be, not as good as prioritizing a town because maybe a town helps you fuel your early shipping and it helps you fuel your stuff, but to me it just seems better to go ahead and just start expanding instead of
mhm.
staying stuck up there in the north.
Hmm. Yeah. We see Darklings already start to expand this turn. It makes sense. There's the digging bonus this turn too. So kind of equivalent to digging and building a dwelling next turn instead. And this gives them the chance of easier connection, being able to dig out from the east continent, and they will be able to reach quite a couple of black hexes, as you mentioned, with 2 ships next round. But they might have a slight coin management problem in trying to do that.
Yeah, the coins, they're lacking in the coins department for sure. I mean, they're getting 3 from the cult bonus. They're getting 3
Hmm.
from Fire 1, which is 6.
Hmm.
And, they could pass for temp ship and then hope to get the 4 power 7 coin action, which is pretty much the only way they're really gonna do the plan that I had suggested. So
Hmm.
unless they get power somewhere, I don't see it happening. And the only way I see them getting power really looks like Swarmlings upgrading their temple to a sanctuary. I mean, that's 2 power, and even then, actually, Darklings would need 3 power, in
Hmm.
addition to the 3 power from the temp ship. So, you
Hmm.
know, there's a there's a problem with
Hmm.
Darklings getting all those hexes next year.
Yeah, and it looks like Nomads is probably going to take uh, the coin power action in front of them. Nomads have already passed, and although I guess Nomads has a good number of coins, 5 from the codes, 4 from the bonus, plus 3 plus 3. They're going to start the next round with 16 coins, and 6 workers. But I guess you can never have enough coins, so I do see Nomads still taking the coin power action.
Yeah, I would definitely still take the coin action because
Hmm.
other players want it. Even if, yeah, for right now you have a ton of coins, because you also got
Hmm.
to think nomads want 2 shipping here, right? And if they do, that's -8 coins. And then once they have
Hmm.
2 shipping, they're going to be able to snag up. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow hexes, 5 yellow hexes. Holy moly! They don't even
Hmm.
have okay, they have 5 dwellings to work with. So, yeah, that's a lot of points that they're getting for dwellings, so,
Hmm.
that's nomads doing good things. We were
Hmm.
hating on them. We were hating on them, but
Yes, yes, definitely. Ryan has shown me exactly his plan for scoring in round 3, and it is a great plan. It's 16 points incoming from dueling, 16 to
Mhm.
20. Not sure if he's going to build the last one, and also 5 more points from shipping.
Yeah, and he did get Earth 1, during this round, so, yeah, this guy is gonna be able to to score a ton of points, this
Hmm.
next round. I really like it now. I really like it now. I was scared in the beginning just because, I don't know. I'm no nomads wizard, but Ryan surely is. I think he's been practicing with him. I think that's what's been going on.
Hmm. So we see Swarmlings put the priest to air, not to earth, perhaps to aim for securing some points on the coats. Putting it to earth might be a losing proposition in that race, but Swarmlings has secured the 3 spots on air instead. And I still predict the Swarmling Sanctuary incoming this round.
Yeah, I would agree. Darklings also are gonna get some power here. So if for some reason nomads decide to not take the gold, I guess Darklings still have a chance. There is a chance. Or in going with a temple, so Earth 2 here. Okay. I mean, that just means they want to go ahead and get some more coins. They want to get some more econ. They're gonna win the Earth Code if they want to. It's just a matter of how bad do they want it, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
this is how you play Orin. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Orin is going to build 3 dwellings next round. I suppose with a single dig, which they should be able to get. They would be able to build, starting from their stronghold, build on the green that they already have, turn that blue into green, and then build on 2 more greens. That's a pretty respectable round 3 dwelling scoring too.
Mhm. Yep, Zikkop jumps on the, temp ship, and he decides to not convert a power even though he's gonna lose out on one of them, and that's purely just because he's gonna hope that Ryan the Man doesn't take the coins action. And again, I think that's why it's really important for the nomads to go ahead and take the coins, just because he forced Darklings to make that small inefficiency, and then he's gonna make Darklings a little sad that he didn't get the coins. And then
Mhm,
Darklings, they're just gonna crawl up in a corner and cry themselves to sleep because
mhm.
if you can't
Yeah,
get early go
I don't
ahead.
like this inefficiency from Darklings. I think it's very clear that Nomads is going to take the coins, just given on like how strong the increased 2 shipping and build 4 dwelling game plan is, and that's going to burn a ton of coins, and they still need more coins going into round 4. So I think there's really no chance that Nomads does not take the coin power action.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard to do to accept that you're not getting the coins, but yeah, it looks fairly reasonable that Ryan will take them. Swarmlings aren't gonna be able to pass on to their big building bonus. This is probably gonna be a struggle all game. You have the Orin would like to pass on to the big building, the Swarmlings wanna pass on to it, and the Darklings wanna pass on to it, so how often are the Swarmlings gonna be cashing in on that bonus
Hmm.
card? It's gonna be tough, and all these players know how to pass, to block other players from that card, and really, I guess they're just trying to block the Swarmlings mostly,
Hmm.
but, they'll still be able to get a bunch of points from the trading post when they pass on that. They're only gonna get 2 points from it this time around, but anytime in the future, it'll definitely be 4 or more points.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point. How, like, having the Stronghold Sanctuary scoring round one is good for Swarmlings, but that also means that some of your opponents are also building Strongholds or Sanctuaries. And that puts a lot of pressure on the Stronghold Sanctuary passing tile, which is already already a very strong tile because of the two workers it gives. But like with the 4 extra points, everyone is going to be jumping on it.
Yeah, I mean, it probably hurts Swarmlings the most, and then, I guess it just, hurts Orin and Darkling just a little bit because, I guess they all want it, so it looks like Nomads kinda benefits from that because, Nomads, they're sorta waiting it out, and they'll just they'll get points from picking up on all these econ pass tiles, and they've got a ton of dwellings, so whenever they wanna jump on that, and nobody really is gonna have the kinda dwellings that the Nomads are gonna have all game. Darklings possibly, but yeah, with so few coins
Mhm.
going into this next round, how many dwellings do they even get on the board? I mean, it's
Mhm.
looking like now possibly going for that sanctuary town this round might be a good option. Just take a well, they don't have enough priests to do it just yet, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to manage. Um, so they will have to settle with the conversion of one power to one coin. They will be able to build 3, 4 dwellings, and then they will be able to build 4 dwellings and still face some coin trouble going into next round.
Yeah, if I was the Darklings, I'd be looking at this round, like, go ahead and build all your dwellings, just go ahead and use up all your gold, all your power. Um, they are getting 4 power at the end of this too, so go ahead and do all that, and then going into next year, I would
Mhm.
see that as like a replenishing year. Like, go in and then get out as quick as possible, and just get coins from the pass tile, get coins from being the first one to pass out, allowing you to take the 4 coins action. That's how I would
Mhm.
view Darklings in this situation, being at
Mhm.
such I mean, looking at everybody else, you have Orin at 15 coins, Nomads 22, Swarmlings, even though 9 might seem like not a ton of coins, Swarmlings they have a ton of coins just because everything they get is like, it's free. They get free trading posts. They don't have to build those. They're gonna get so much
Mhm.
coins. They're good. So
Mhm. Yeah,
we'll see.
that
We'll
seems like
see.
a very strong plan to me. They do have the tempo this round. They should be able to pass first, and they will be able to pass onto the dwelling scoring tile. So as you said, pass the dwelling scoring tile, get coins, and then hopefully pass to another empty scoring tile to set up nicely for round 5 trading posts.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. The Orin looks like they might be able to get this double shovel if the Swarmlings pass on it, and I guess they just double shovel the red over on the eastern continent. That would help them carve out their town, or they can go ahead and just single dig the blue hex in the middle of the continent. I'm not sure what their thinking is. I mean, they could still take the double shovel and do a half dig on the red and then full dig the blue to green, but that
Mhm.
would be really, really good.
I think they'd be happy with either. I definitely see them digging D5 so they can build 2 more dwellings this round, and then maybe turn the red halfway so that they can expand a little easier later.
Right. Okay. Well, surely now they'll take the double dig because they don't really have the option. Um, it looks like he's possibly thinking about accepting this power. I feel like it's automatic for me, but huh, interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think he may be a little surprised that Swarmlings move this round, like this dig. I'm a little surprised myself. I'm not sure if Swarmlings have much to gain from taking this Black Hex. They can already town with the Sanctuary on the right hand side. So I'd lean towards digging D1 instead if I were taking the single shovel with Swarmlings.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. And uh he could have taken the double shovel if he let's say he needed that black hex that he just dug. He could have
Mhm.
taken that black hex and also taken the double shovel for the green hex on D1. Like,
Mhm.
why would you not take the double shovel? I feel like the double shovel is better. That's a very bizarre move to me.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure where like where this is leading to, for Swarmlings, except for some threat at D7 at the green hex, at the red hex for green. Like this is sort of implicit, like threatening that. Although it's not a very strong threat, since it's so far away for Swarmlings to dig, and they don't have upgraded digging yet.
Yeah, I mean, if he's yeah, surely he wouldn't be threatening that hex anytime soon, but it's always lingering that the possibility is there, so
Hmm.
but it seems like maybe in, like, the 4th or 5th year if Green Rain hasn't, figured out what he's doing with this town over on the east, then yeah, it could come into play, and he
So I think
continues I was just gonna
Swarmlings.
say go ahead.
Oh, Swarmlings is probably about to town up, right? Uh,
Mhm.
Probably for the two key town here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Mm, okay.
And yeah, this is still very bizarre to me that they have extra blue out there open. And this is also like giving 6 power to Orans in the process.
Yeah, like, that's the beauty of the Swarmlings is when you're playing as the Swarmlings, you can play, like, away from everybody, right? Like, he could have taken that blue on the outside of the map and still gotten a free upgraded trading post and not give Orin leech. So, it really makes no sense because anytime you're giving other players leech, like, that's really powerful for the other players. Like, they can take that leech and turn it around and, take power actions, and power actions are powerful. So, why would you want to be
Mhm.
giving them, all this stuff? It is very strange. So
Mhm.
surely he's gonna take the spade on the blue, and he's gonna half dig this red. Um, the Swarmlings took the 2 key step. Oh, he does have shipping, so I guess he took a turn last time, or
Mhm.
his last turn
Yes.
to upgrade ship just so he could do that.
Mhm. Yes, I
Uh,
think that was what Orange were thinking about when it looks like they're thinking about the leech. They were just planning out since at that point they knew that the double spade was coming around to them. They're
mhm.
planning for a way to use it efficiently, and as we see, they've decided to go for the dwellings this turn. It's a lot of dwellings.
Yeah, a lot of dwellings. It was really good though, for sure. Now his Earth 2, now that he's gonna be getting an extra worker every time, he's gonna need I mean, he's gonna have all these dwellings out on the board, he's gonna be getting a ton of workers for his income, he's gonna need to find out how to leverage, all these coins with getting gold or all these workers by getting gold, so if he keeps getting power from all these players, that's gonna be one way that he can leverage it, and,
Hmm.
the Darklings just built into him, so that's an extra 4 power, so it's like everything is going the Oran's way, This is really
Hmm.
solid, and that move also hurts, nomads. there's there's probably I think Nomads honestly could have hard dug that, and it could have been worth it because, I mean, that takes away a town from the Darklings, and it gives you a town spot. We
Hmm.
haven't really been talking about that hex that the Darklings just took, but that's a very crucial hex.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think Nomad's town positions in this game are a little awkward. Uh, and I think a little bit of this goes back to their third dwelling starting position at G4. Right now it's stranded, and Nomads will just have a lot of dwellings stranded in weird locations. And I'm not quite seeing how they're planning to town up this game. I guess one in the north, one at the tempo position next to the Swarmling stronghold, and one with a sandstorm and a bridge in the south. That doesn't look great. The one in the south doesn't look great.
Yeah, no, the one in the south looks a little suspect, and also the second temple that they have on the left side of the map, there's no guarantee the swarmlings don't double dig that brown, which could
Hmm.
also further the awkwardness of the towns from nomads. But
Hmm.
also an interesting move that we saw was Orin decided to decline the leech that the Darklings gave them. It was a 4 for 3. Um, the only thing I could think of is that maybe they're gonna be moving up in the fire cult with their two-step, and they're gonna be getting 4 power from a cult reward, and maybe they were
Hmm.
thinking, "Oh, this is too much power, like, I'm not gonna be able to do it," but I don't know. I still feel like they should have taken the leech and, maybe they could have done some power transfers to make sure they get all the power back, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if you were paying attention and saw that, but that was interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It does look like they will be pretty coin short. As you mentioned, they took Earth 2 and not Fire 1, like a lot of the other players. And now with this like dwelling spree, they're going to have a ton of workers. And it does look like they will be in desperate need of coins later on, which makes the power acceptance even more attractive. Like I don't think they have a lot of power tokens, so I don't think they're in danger of um, power overflow.
Yeah, and the Swarmlings passed on the trading post, bonus card that gets them points for that, so, that's good. The Swarmlings, it's nice that they have the Sanctuary bonus card, and if they can pass on it, they'll get points from it, but they can make do with the trading post one, so that's good for them. Um,
Mhm.
this just leaves the Nomads and the Orin left in this year. The Nomads have, 1 spot left to build a dwelling, and they have 1 dwelling left on their board. Do they want to build it? It doesn't grant them any income, but it grants them points. I'm
Mhm.
sure they do.
It's really awkward because it spreads another dwelling out there that's not going to be part of a town. So we're going to see probably only two towns from nomads in that case, and like to form these two towns, nomads probably still needs fire two.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The good thing is, they haven't built any trading post. Well, the only person that's built trading posts is the Swarmling. So everybody's, they've got a ton of dwellings out that they're going to be able to score a bunch of points on building trading posts.
Hmm.
Um, do the nomads have a ton of gold to build a sanctuary and a stronghold, or are they just going to go stronghold, just going to go sanctuary? Because you were saying if they want to build a town on the south, they're going to need a
Hmm.
sandstorm. But I mean, that's so many coins that's just it's almost like a waste. I'm not even sure it's worth it to build a
Yeah,
stronghold.
yeah, I agree. I don't see it in this game. I don't see the sandstorm and bridge happening. So I think Darkling like might have also judged that to be the case and made a very good move there in cutting off Nomad's town in the center.
Hmm. Yeah. So I guess we're getting close to when all these water ones are about to be taken because uh, the nomads can build a sanctuary for water one if they choose to, and the Orin can also build one. as their first actions. The Darklings decided to take the coins, which, I agree with, but, having that water 1 seems really powerful, so
Hmm. Yeah.
I suspect that be the first moves from Nomads and, Orin.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something else on their minds.
Mhm. Well, there's really not that huge of a hurry because the Darklings don't even have a tempo out, a trading post out. So they'll take at least 2 moves to grab Water One, and they will be behind everyone. So Darklings is going to be the one left without Water One in this game, I think.
Yeah, you're right. They are not only 1 move behind, but 2 moves behind. I missed that. But the good thing is you know, they're sitting on this dwelling past house, so they can at least score a bunch of points from having a bunch of dwellings on the board. They can pass first still if they want as that whole game plan and take 5 gold or 3 gold, 3 power, and 1 worker and possibly get another gold action. So missing out on water 1, it's not detrimental to their game, but they're gonna have to figure out how to make points up.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that huge econ from all these gold actions is definitely one way to make up for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the early pass with all the resources that Darkling has, and start building out the trading post next round. Um, Not like I think the key for Darklings here is to try to secure the gold, the 7 coin power action again next round. And they're missing 6 power to do so at the moment. Is that right? They can pass on to the 3 power, so they need 3 more power from Leech, or maybe by sending Priest to the codes, which yeah, which doesn't look great.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky how they accomplish it, because yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too is the opponents, surely will be keeping track of that, and if they see that they want to deny the Darklings from getting that gold action, they might just build away from them, and it looks like there's a way for everybody to seemingly build away from him. Um,
Hmm.
so in that case, maybe just taking the 5 coins with the cult step straight up is just better,
Hmm.
just because it guarantees you the coins. But
I think
but
the 3 coins and 3 power is basically just as good because the power turn into like 1.5 coins.
mhm.
And a worker could turn into a coin too, and that leaves open the backdoor option of getting the 7 coin power action. I think they also have plenty of coins to work with. They have 11, plus 3 more from Fire One, plus whatever bonus tile they're choosing to take. So it will be enough to last them at least 1 round, and probably 2, because the next round they're going to build a ton of trading posts, and that will give them coins for the final round.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking this, what we're seeing from Darklings here, because surely they're gonna have a huge, expansive game. It looks like they've already secured connection. I don't see how they're gonna lose out on it from here. Are they playing for 3 towns? Possibly?
Mm-hmm.
With a Fire 2, it looks like 3 towns is pretty possible, and then they've already got 52 points in the bag, so they're right around everybody else. Swarmlings are at 56, Ornn 53, Nomads 41, so, things are looking pretty good for the Darklings. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. They did start at unusually high after the auction for Darklings. I think like started at like 24 when Nomads was at 18, and I'm not quite seeing the reasoning why the players decided to penalize the Darklings so much.
Yeah, Swarmlings finally dig D1. I was he
Well, it took
also
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took him a while, but he's got his digs all the way upgraded, and that tells me if he has his digs upgraded, that means nomads are not gonna get that brown hex, because no matter how you slice it, Tormlings are gonna have to double dig a hex to get that town anyway. He might as
Mhm.
well just go ahead and double dig the brown hex and hurt nomads.
Hmm.
So that's one town, uh, y- place taken away from the nomads. You have the center place taken away from nomads. The only place left is the one up north, and there's no neighbors up there at the moment. I mean, the nomads game, it's got so much economy behind it, but it's really looking dicey at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, definitely agreeing that Nomads has a very tricky town situation to figure out, and they're under pressure to build their sanctuary right now, like immediately. So they'll have to decide too on that where the sanctuary is going, and that will further limit their town options in the future. I say that because Darklings just built a trading post, so Darklings is threatening to take Water One if Nomads does not prioritize it.
Mhm. Yeah, I do like that, move by Darklings. I mean, they're putting pressure on Water One. It's gonna flush out the Nomad's decision, and, he's not gonna be able to wait, and if Darklings lose out on Water One here, they can just build another dwelling. It looks like everybody's gonna have one more move, and they'll be able to pass and, take that good econ favor tile and momentum, which is always solid. Um
Hmm.
the Orin did just use their, cold step, which means that Orin does have the option to pass first, but if Orin passes, like, Darklings are getting the same thing. The Orin are sitting on the 6 gold here. Um,
Hmm. Mhm. Oh, and
and
this is pretty big for Darklings. Nomads is forced to upgrade their sanctuary, and they've decided to put it next to Darkling Sanctuary. So that gives Darklings a 3 power that we're talking about. Now Darklings can pass for a 3 power bonus tile and start off next turn with the 7 coin bonus action.
Yep, that's huge. I think it's really important for Darklings to pass this action right now
Mhm.
just because, well, do Orin pass or does
Yeah.
Orin double dig? I'm not sure because now with Swarmling's upgraded digs, the Swarmlings can mess with the Orin very easily, you know?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think Orange is in a hard spot because the 3 scoring bonus tiles are taken. So Orange does not want to pass in that sense, but if Orange passes, they get to start with a 7 coin bonus action. So it's really a matter of weighing which one is more important.
Yeah, I think if I'm Orin, I'm gonna go ahead and play it a little safe here and just go ahead and take my that red hex where his sanctuary town is looking just because, it's just safe. I don't know. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'd rather pass on to a scoring bonus tile this round.
Mhm.
And so might as well go ahead and take that, build another dwelling. And you could always get coins from the towns, even though that's not the best. But it's also not the worst. And Orange can build a couple of trading posts next round, and be in reasonable situation with their coins, with their resources going into round 6.
Yep. Yeah, Cointown, like, in this setup, like, it looks really solid just because Cointown's gonna give you the ability to build however many trading posts. I mean, 6 coins is essentially 2 trading posts, and he's got so many workers, and there's not a whole lot of coins floating around if those coin bonus tiles get picked up and he passes on to a scoring, bonus tile. So, a coin town could just, give him some super good economy for building these trading posts. If he
Hmm.
decides to build a temple for some reason with one of those trading posts just to play the Colts a little more, I don't know. I mean, he has opportunities to play Air 1, Water 2, Fire 2. I don't think Fire 2 would be good, but yeah, there's possibilities here. There's actually third town possibilities with, his dwelling up on C4, which is next to the
Hmm.
nomad's dwelling. I mean, he could dig
Hmm.
the black and then go into the green, and then now he's looking at 3 hexes. He just needs to dig 1 more, which would
Hmm.
probably be the blue. You
Yes. Yes, I think that's a very real possibility. Orange has a very strong economy going, and that will, except for the coin part, but like they can take a coin town, and that will, I think, be enough to fuel their third town, which is also great because the third town is going to involve building trading posts, and that is exactly what they want to do in round 6.
Yep. Yeah, I think if Orin get 3 towns, I think Orin are in the best shape to win this just because Orin's playing for network. I don't know if they surely I don't think they get first, but maybe get second, and they're playing pretty good on the Colts. You know, they might win a Colt, they might get a couple seconds here, maybe a 3rd place there. So, it's like they're gonna get a bunch of points just from every aspect of the game, the in-game scoring, the
Mhm.
town scoring, the actual round scoring. Orin are set up really nicely here.
Mhm. Here's something I don't understand though. Darklings decided to dig E4 instead of passing over to the 3 power 1 worker bonus tile and securing 7 coins next round. I don't really understand this part.
I mean, I guess it could just be a little bit of a misstep. I think, um I think passing was very important there, you know, for
Mhm.
for what we talked about,
Yes,
and
like
if somebody passes before him, I think he's gonna regret it once he sees
uh-huh.
it.
Yeah, like they could be angling for a scoring tile, but I'm not even sure if a scoring tile is as strong as a 3 coin, 3 power, 1 worker tile that also allows you to take the 7 coin action to start. And you could always aim for a scoring tile for the last round and go for some more economy on round 5.
Yeah, and surely, unless the Swarmlings decide to spend a worker to dig, uh, surely Darklings will not be the first to pass here
Mhm.
because he decided to expend that move,
Yeah.
and
Well, Swarmlings just sent Priest Air, so that was. I think that makes more sense because Swarmlings is hoping for a pass tile, uh, a pass scoring tile. So Darkling still has another chance here, depending on what Nomad does.
yep, you're right. Why not dig on it? You know, you get a point for your bonus tile that you're sitting on. Like, you're not getting any income from that dwelling that you place, but you might as well
Mhm.
that I guess maybe that signifies he is stalling for points instead of
Mhm.
coins.
Yes, I think that would make a coherent plan, but it does not seem like the strongest plan to me.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Nomads do pass out, and they've
Mhm.
got, they grabbed the worker one, the one that, we were hoping the Darklings well, not hoping, but, you know,
We were-
we were playing it out in our head. Um,
Yes, yes. Mhm.
so now the script has been flipped. Now the Nomads are gonna have, you know, this huge, economic boost, and the good thing about the Nomads in this situation is, they did get water 1, so they'll be able you know, even if they're not scoring all these towns that we thought they may have in round 1 and 2, now they can just start plopping trading posts all over the place and just score a bunch of points that way. Maybe
Mhm.
there's a chance they grab Air 1 and just try and get as many points as possible that they can
Mhm.
there.
I still think Nomads is in a very tight spot here, and I'm not liking their position. The score is about even at the moment. Nomads is probably going to win network, but they're going to lose. They're going to lose some in codes, so we'll call that even. And they are like their biggest problem is the 2 towns. Like I just don't see the 2 towns happening without sinking a bunch of resources into it. Whereas Orange already have their 2 towns carved out. Although maybe, yes, Orange. Well, something just happened and Swarmlings dug Orange green. But we'll say that Orange has their 2 towns carved out. Darklings has their 2 towns carved out and possibly a
Mhm.
third one incoming. Swarmlings have their first town built, their second town carved out, and Nomads is behind at that department.
Yeah, you can see Green Rain's reaction now. If I had to guess, I think he didn't realize the Swarmlings had upgraded their digs because
Hmm.
surely anybody who sees that the Swarmlings has their digs upgraded is going to protect that green hex. I mean, he had one more dwelling left. He had the resources to play it. The only reason he would not choose to play it is because, that dwelling that he places doesn't give him any points back. So or not points back, it doesn't give him any more resources. The good thing is Orin's still gonna be able to go into this next round and hard dig it back, but for
Mm-hmm.
1 worker, the Swarmlings just paid 1 worker to make the Orin pay 6 power to double dig, and now 3 hard workers to get that
Mm-hmm.
hex back, so, I mean, that was a pretty sweet move for the Swarmlings and the Darklings and Nomads because they all benefit from the Orin getting hurt.
Yes, I agree. And in the game chat, Green Rain just said that he did not realize that Swarming had indeed upgraded digging. So very
Wow.
important to to keep track of your neighbor's digging situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super early for the Swarmlings to have upgraded digs, but one thing that I could think of as to why Green Rain might have missed that is Green Rain is a really well-known Snellman player, and I think he's used to the Snellman Swarmlings, and the Snellman Swarmlings, I believe, is very different from, like, what the BGA Warmlings play at, which, you know,
Hmm.
and I think because maybe that may have messed him up, like, he's just used to Swarmlings having upgraded digs maybe in round 6 or not even at all.
Hmm.
I totally am just guessing, but, maybe that's what went into his, thought process of not paying attention. I mean, maybe there was no thought process. Sometimes you're just paying attention to other things too, so
Hmm.
who knows? Who knows?
This is as you said, a 3 worker penalty for Orange. This is pretty huge. It could make or break their third town, as we're talking about. Orange just needs 3 more digs in the north to form their third town, and 3 workers is one of those digs.
Yeah, there's a I think if I'm the Orin, I'm looking at the Orins, and they don't have too much gold now, so I think what they might wanna do is pass as fast as possible because they're on a dwelling bonus card, so for every time they build a trading post, they get points for the trading post, but they take points away from having the dwelling bonus card. So
Hmm.
they could just wait next round to build all the trading posts that they would have this round, and they'll get the same amount of points, right? So
Hmm.
maybe they just build like 1 trading post, maybe not even 1 trading post. Maybe they just use their cult steps. Maybe if they think that's good enough, they can just pass out now and take the trading post past tile. They can go ahead and uh, take 7 coins because, I mean, looking at what they got going on right now, I mean, they're struggling, right? So they need struggling with coins. They need to get coins somehow. So we did
Hmm.
talk about they could get the coin towns, but it just to me it doesn't really seem productive to build trading posts this round when you have dwelling past tile. So maybe
Hmm.
maybe passing early is in their cards, and I mean they're getting all this leech now that I say all this. So maybe this leech is how they can get all this power and turn it into gold. But we saw Orin decline leech earlier. Are they going to decline it again? I don't know.
Yes, they in fact did decline in the game.
They
This
did
another
decline.
3 for 4.
Wow.
So I think Green Ray evaluates 3 for 4 as not quite worth it.
Hmm.
In terms of, yeah, like I agree, it's borderline. Like it's reaching a territory where it's a lot of points to pay, and you might not see the returns from the leech. But I think, like in Oren's current situation, being so coin starved, I'd still accept it.
Right. Yeah, it's hard for me to decline leech when you're playing a game for like connection and for building like you know you're trying to eke out one more town, or this is a game where it looks like Orin have a chance to get first or second in network, and getting those extra power acceptance, getting all those extra powers is how you win first and second. You don't get it from just getting natural income. You get it from all these extra powers, all these nice economic advances. So
Hmm.
I think it hurts him just a little, but, he's not losing the victory points for it, so there's also that, so it's
Hmm.
tough to say what's better, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, on the network race, it does look like to be very tight, and everyone's going to need all the resources they can get. Because like winning or losing even once by one structure in network race creates a huge swing. And it looks like Oran's probably going to reach 13 structures. I do predict that they will get their final town going on the north. So that's four there, four in the center, four in the east, and one on the bottom. That's 13 easy structures. Maybe they can hard dig for another. Nomads have their stronghold out now, so they have one more sandstorm incoming. And they don't have that many yellows left they can reach easily though. So yeah, I'm seeing nomads at about 13 structures too, maybe 14.
Yeah, having the stronghold for the nomads, it gives them the option to get 2 towns fairly easy as long as they can secure 2 bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not no other faction other than the Darklings, if they decided to go with that northern town that we were talking about in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of the game. Other than that, there's no real bridge pressure, so, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the the nomads could I could see 2 towns from the nomads here now.
Yeah, the bridge pressure from the Darklings is pretty interesting in that if Darklings take the bridge, Nomads could easily sandstorm away the blue, and that will disrupt Darklings' town so heavily that they might not be able to form a town. They might not have enough digs to do it. So it's kind of a like if Darklings goes for the bridge, they know that they still might not be able to get a town anyway.
Yeah, the nomads, those pesky nomads, they're always threatening hexes.
Yeah. So Nomads does have their two towns carved out at the moment. It's not great, as you said. They're going to need two bridges. That's not the most inefficient way for Nomads to form towns.
So, whoa, I just got a lot louder in my irrespective of what I was saying earlier this round about Orin, they just go ahead and build 2 trading posts, and they take 2 cult step towns. So
Mm,
now, currently, they're winning 2 cults. They're 2nd place in 2 of them. Um, I mean, that's really good cult-wise, but it's also, expected for the Orin. And looking at their resources now, I'm not sure that they can go for another town. I'm not even sure if it's worth it, but, I mean, they're sitting at 83 points. I mean, this looks really good.
mhm.
Looks really good.
They could put Priest on water and use the Code Step on water so they have a double dig coming. So
Mhm.
that means they just need one more dig. That's three workers. They will need to build three dwellings, three dwellings, three trading posts. That's nine workers. So that's a total of 12 workers, which they do have. So yeah, I think they will be able to get the third town if they want it. It just depends on if there are better ways to score or not.
Right. Yeah, that'd be huge. The Swarmlings for the 3rd time, I believe, have jumped on that trading post, past tile, so,
Hmm.
they didn't even need the Sanctuary Stronghold to score. They just said, "You know what? The trading post, that's all I need." So, well
Hmm.
done to Warack. However he ends up in this game, he has scored, good amount of points from that past tile, so that has definitely helped him.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. When everyone puts pressure on the stronghold sanctuary tile, just take the next best thing, which is sometimes just as good.
Yeah. No, I agree. They Swarmlings have one more town coming in, and they're sitting at 77 points, and the Darklings have yet to build a single town and are sitting at 74 points.
Hmm.
So, does
Yes,
that scare you if you're the Swarmlings player? Are you
yes, and Darkling still has eight hidden points from the past. That scares me very, very much.
right? Also, not to I mean, Swarmlings are playing culty a little bit, but Darklings, they're gonna have connection points. So, I think if I had to choose between the 2, I think would rather be Darklings in this situation. I mean,
Hmm.
everything I mean, the beginning from them looked really strong. They didn't get Water 1, which was their only downfall, but, like, still, they haven't even built a ton of trading posts. I mean, I'm sure they will next round, but yeah,
Hmm.
like, it just looks really good for these guys.
Yes,
It
I think
doesn't
Darklings in elite, Orange second, uh, Swarmlings third, and Nomads unfortunately a distinct fourth.
Mhm. Yeah, when did Darklings build that stronghold this year?
Yes.
Did they did what was the thought process there? Did were I'm just now
Hmm.
realizing it. This is
Yeah,
d
I'm not I'm not sure either. Like it happened while we were looking at other things, but it
Uh-huh,
might have been because they did not have enough priests. They never built a
mhm,
second temple in this game.
mm.
So, and to form the center town with the sanctuary gone, they need 4 squares, which involves digging the red hex, which is like 3 digs away. So that might have been part of the motivation. They just
Uh,
needed a couple more digs in this game.
yeah, they also have the pass tile for the
Yes, yes, they
stronghold,
have the
so that
pass tile. They have a
mhm.
ton of workers to spare. They have like 6 or 7 dwellings out for a couple of turns.
Okay, yeah, makes sense, no, I like it.
So I think right now we're seeing probably a dance to secure the favorable bonus tiles for the last round. There's 2 scoring ones, and Darkling is on one, Orin is on the other. And they're all going to try to maneuver to get on one.
Yeah, this is a very, like, crucial part in the game because, I mean, you could essentially see those pass tiles as just 8 victory points plus whatever, is on
Hmm.
it, so 2 workers and 8 victory points or 2 coins. Um, some people call it the pass tile shimmy shuffle, other people call it the scariest part of the game, but, it's really fortunate, for nomads because they've got all these resources and they're not
Hmm.
sitting on one, so they know as long as they can just do enough actions so that Orin or Darklings pass out, they're guaranteed one, no matter what
Hmm.
happens, as long as they
Yep.
can make it to there.
Yep.
Whereas Darklings and Orin, it's a little tricky, they are not guaranteed one of those, so, and it doesn't look I haven't really played it out in my head, but sometimes when you're in that situation, you'll sit there and play out the moves and figure out, "Okay, I'm not gonna be able to get one. I might as well just pass now and get the 7 coins that I see."
Yep.
And
And
maybe
that is
maybe that's what Zikkop was thinking there.
Yes, that's what exactly what happened with Zikkop. I still like his position a lot, having 2 towns incoming, and the priest town is still there. The 11-point town is still there, and Darklings is leading on just raw score at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda I guess that's usually what you should expect, but the fact that they're doing it means that they're doing what they should be doing, you know?
Hmm.
They're winning in the points, so, um, maybe some people, let Darklings get away with too much, or maybe Darklings were just always really good. I mean, you've said a couple times that the Darklings weren't bid down that much in the auction, so maybe that was a
Hmm.
bit of a misstep for all the other players.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there was a bit of that, and then there was Nomads letting the E6 hex slip by. Nomads did take priority in securing B2 in that fight with Darklings, but letting the E6 hex slip to Darklings was ended up being pretty critical, I think. It made Nomad's town a lot harder to form, and then Darklings suddenly had the center town.
Yeah, that E6 in the middle, that was definitely really important. I guess Nomads didn't wanna do it because it was a hard dig, like, they had to hard dig, and then that would have taken away a couple of dwellings that they could have cashed in on that round because that was the dwelling round. So
Yes,
maybe in
yes.
hindsight, he wishes that he would have hard dug it, but, um, he's I mean, he's got 64 points. Just it doesn't seem like it's gonna be enough for this game. I mean, he
Hmm.
at best has one more town coming, and he's not passing for any points this round. So he did secure the Earth Cult. He's looking like second in fire, maybe third or second, and well, not definitely not second in air. But yeah, I mean, there's some cult points for the nomads.
Hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to be nomads in this situation. That's
We did see a little of a dangerous shuffle there, where Orange had the option to pass 1 move before onto this Stronghold Sanctuary tile and didn't, instead advanced in the Water Cult, I think. And then Nomads had the option to deny Orin any passing tile, but didn't, and instead built a trading post. So now we see that Oran has, now that they've secured their second spade on the water code, they've hopped over. Already, there's nothing more important to them other than the 8 points for the final round.
Yep. Yeah, a bit of a risky move by the Ornn, but it paid off for sure. Because the nomads can always just jump in front of them, and then they're left with nothing.
Hmm. And so, yeah, I think the Orans will end at 13. I don't see them going to 14 structures. Unfortunately, the extra tempo will take too much to build. So, uh, no, actually, 13. Yeah, I think Oran ends at 13. Nomads ends at, they have another sandstorm incoming, but no other good places to put their dwellings, even if they increase shipping to 3. I'm not saying Nomad's having a great network game, actually, because they still need to build trading posts. Well, they only need to build one more trading post. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the network is looking like a tight race here.
Yeah, you're right. I think, what happened with the network for nomads is they lost out on that red hex below their sanctuary. The swarmlings dug
Hmm.
it, and that hex it leads to another yellow, assuming they have 3 shipping, and,
Hmm.
they lost that hex, and,
Yep.
that's I mean, it's only 1 hex, but still, like, 1 hex could be the difference in 1st and 2nd place in network, so
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's possible that we might see Nomads take a double dig for the final round, which is a little awkward. But well, no, I guess you can't because Nomads still have to take the bridge for their town. So it's just very awkward. All the things they have to do. Well, instead they take a single dig this round. Yeah, that makes sense.
they could just be going they could just be connecting their 3 dwellings up north to their trading post and just have, a town that way, not even
Oh,
bridging.
hmm, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's definitely exactly what's going to happen now that you've pointed that out. Taking 2 more hexes up north that gives them 7 power and structures for a town and gets them to 14 structures.
It's quite a lot of structures. I think Darklings could possibly catch up to that. I mean, I don't know if they pass it. Surely they can catch up to it. Here we go. Last year. Everybody's got a pretty healthy, economy here, so they're gonna have quite a bit of actions here to do.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. Orange is going to build their town. Swarmlings is going to finish out their town and have a bunch left over. Darkling is going to finish out their 2 towns, maybe angle for a third, although it's not quite clear where that might come from. Like I guess in the south, Darklings can build a temple for Fire 2. There's all 3 of them left, and then build a town in the south. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And Swarmlings actually started out by taking Water 3, so securing the water track ahead of Orange, who ran out of moves to take the last step. Orange would have needed to trade for priest and then put the priest to water, and that would have put the passing bonus tile at risk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough for Orin that they lost that, but, I mean, I guess yeah, it wasn't worth it to secure it in that last round, and it makes sense for Swarmlings to go ahead and take it this round because it's like you said, they're gonna have a ton of stuff left over once they build their town. It's not like they can build another town, so what are they
Hmm.
really gonna do with all these leftover resources? Might as well just snag a 1st place in a cult. I mean, it's 4
Hmm.
points to you, and it takes away 4 from the Orin, so
Yep, makes a
yeah.
lot of sense. And if they have nothing else to grab their tempo, which they do have to build one tempo, so they have another trading post incoming. So that's really the best tempo they can grab.
Yep.
So Darklings does have another town incoming. They did take fire too, although this town is a little disruptible if nomads really wanted to take it away from them. Not sure they have. I'm not sure if they could afford to do so though. And it's not like Darklings really need that town anyway.
Well, which town are you talking about? Because I might be seeing something different than you. Are you talking about north or south?
Oh, well, I guess Darklings has two options. So, yeah, it's pretty flexible here. But I think it's a little disruptible in either sense because Darklings has only one dwelling left, which means that they'd have to build a trading post first, and it kind of commits to where they might put a town.
Gotcha. I think they just go ahead with the south option and dig the brown and the gray. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing that's slightly worrisome, but I'm sure they'll be able to do it, is they still need to upgrade their shipping one more time and then dig to connect because they haven't fully connected yet. So maybe
hmm
with the key town that they take an upgraded shipping and they'll still have one priest left.
hmm
Um, and
Yes. And they have just barely enough coins to do all this. They need another trading post, three more dwellings. That's 9 coins. They do have the 9 coins, and that's 5 workers, which is exactly what they have. Yeah. So it unfortunately a little disruption will throw will put some trouble with their plans if Nomads decides to take that brown away from them. Which I guess I don't see them doing because Nomads is like very very far away from Darklings at the moment.
right. And it doesn't make sense for nomads to hurt darklings because at this point, if they're hurting the darklings, they're just hurting themselves because they need the sandstorm or the workers to build their own town. So why would they
Yep.
mess with them?
So Darklings will put 3 more structures onto the board. That's going to give them 14. So that should match Nomads, although Nomads could probably hard dig for another afterwards if they wanted to.
I will say though, I'm looking at this Darklings Nomad situation. I'm not sure why the Darklings didn't just go ahead and secure the brown when they could have. Because it looked like Nomads could have actually hard dug the brown and not done anything with it. I think the looking at the Nomads resources, it looks like they could have exchanged some like one priest to a worker and still done everything the same, and, it would have messed up Darklings a good bit, but again, like, are nomads really competing, like, for first here? I'm not convinced they are, so I guess that move doesn't make sense in that regard as well.
Yeah, and right now Darkling is just saying that, like, basically Darkling is 100% confident that Nomads is not going to mess with them.
Yeah, but nomads, like, again, the same situation is here, like, nomads can still choose to hard dig this brown and not do anything with it, and then they can still sandstorm the black and exchange a priest for a worker to do it
Mm-hmm.
next round, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
not that they should or shouldn't, I don't know. It's just it's an option.
One takeaway, like hard digging it one step away, is also not quite enough because Darklings does have 5 priests. So they could put all 5 priests digging and take the ship town to round
That's
out
true,
their
but,
build.
darklings would need another priest to connect because they have to
Oh, right, right. They have one more. Yes, they need 6 dig. Yes, they need 5 digs from this position. You're right.
I'm assuming there's another ship advanced. Um, yeah, there's
hmm
still one more ship advance left. Okay.
Yes, and nobody else wants it. Orin has a town incoming, but they're very comfortable with one ship.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's another thing I like about Orin having the center continent town undisrupted. They're able to basically connect with one ship only for the whole game, and it just gives them a much more likelihood of playing at network.
Mhm. Yep. So the Darklings are probably gonna get that last town. Oh, they'll definitely get that last town. The Orin, they've still got another town coming in, and the Orin still have a ton of things going for them. They have the Pass Towel, which is 8 points. They have way more Colts than their counterpart Darklings does. Because I think as of right now, the race is between the Orin and the Darklings. I don't think Swarmlings have enough going for them. They do have a lot of cult points, and they do have a pass towel, but I don't know. The other 2 guys, they still have a town coming in. They're gonna be able to compete for network. So,
Yeah, the Swarmlings just doesn't have a lot left. I guess Swarmlings will increase ship 3 times and basically call it a day. 9 more points incoming from that, bring them to over 100, and they have the other stuff. It looks like not quite enough.
right. Yeah, I wonder if Swarmlings ever could have taken Earth 1 here, because I mean, looking at their end resources, like, they have a lot of resources, right, for whatever else whatever
Hmm.
extracurriculars they wanted to do, and they've
Hmm.
built a good amount of dwellings, and with Earth 1, they could have upgraded shipping and placed some more dwellings and really
Hmm.
taken it just to hurt another player.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel like I would have considered that
Mhm.
a good
I
bit,
think
but it's
mhm.
go ahead.
The point conversion doesn't really work out though, right? Because it's 5 resources for 2 points if you have Earth One, but 5 resources is already close to 2 points by itself. So even having Earth One is not going to allow Swarmlings to convert their resources at a like it's not going to increase their conversion rate.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I'm looking at all these resources Swarmlings have left over. I'm thinking, how could they have, you know, put some points into those all those. But yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
maybe Earth One's not the answer.
it looks like they will end with 6 workers, 7 power. Well, I mean that's 4 points. It's not a great way to earn 4 points, but it's 4 points.
Right.
Perhaps they have a tempo incoming. Is that an efficient conversion? If they do tempo plus trading post, that is 6 workers and 10 coins, 16 resources for 6 points, plus whatever points the code steps get them. I guess one problem is they don't have a place to upgrade trading post for only 3 coins. So that plan is probably out the window too.
Right. Yeah, maybe just holding on to all these resources is just best. I mean, at this point, you don't really have too many options.
I can't quite tell if Orans have it or Darklings have it. Orans are so far ahead on the code steps. And it shouldn't be too hard to figure out with a little math, but we'll just wait for the end game scrolling to tell us who's actually got this.
Yeah, I mean, Darklings, they're currently up. What did they take for that town? I mean, they're up 30 points at the moment, but Orin
Hmm.
still have a town. Orin also have the 8 points on the pass towel over them. So,
Hmm.
they make up the ground really quick in that aspect. And they probably make up, the next 15 points that they're lacking from the Colts alone.
Hmm.
So then the question is, who's getting more points on network, right? Are they tied? Is Darklings ahead? Is Orin ahead?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I think Orans might have this. Orans, they still need to take fire too, though. They still need a hard dig, a dwelling, and a trading post. So I don't think they can hard dig for another dwelling, which means that they will only have 13 structures compared to 14 for Darklings and 14 for Nomads.
Yep. Well, nomads look like they build a oh, do they need to get yeah, they can just dig right here and build a
Yeah,
dwelling.
could be 15 for Nomads. This could actually be huge because Nomads deciding whether Nomads have some resources left, and depending on how they choose to use it, it might affect Darkling by 3 points, and this 3 points could turn out to be the difference between Darklings and Orans.
Right.
Because Nomads, they have a couple of options. They could go for tempo plus trading post. They could go for upgrade dig. They could go for hard dig for dwelling. Yeah, just a couple of options. They'll have to figure out which one gets them the most points. And if it so happens to be the one that involves hard digging and putting on another dwelling, then Darklings is not going to be very happy with that.
I wonder if nomads should buy a priest here and then just take the last 2 cult steps that are available, so 1 on water, 1 on air, and then they'll still have another priest well, actually, no, they can't even buy a priest right now, they don't have a priest available, but, like,
Mhm.
upgrade they have a ton of coins, right? So they can upgrade shipping, which is 4 points. I mean, it's hard to think that, that going an extra dwelling is bad, but it might not be the best move.
Mhm. Yeah. So an extra dwelling will be 3 points from network, 2 points from Earth One, and 1 point from the pass bonus. So that's 6 points. That's just as good as building a temple, or nearly as good as building a temple a trading post, and you don't spend nearly as many resources. So yeah, that's probably the line.
Yeah, okay. That must be what Ryan is crunching right now. He's gotta do all that hard math. Darklings have just enough to place their last dwelling. They'll dig somewhere and they'll be all connected up. They've got 1 move left, they'll be left with 2 power. Or an 8 workers, 4 coin, 4 power. That's what's the best key town available? They still got a 9 pointer left, a priest.
No, there's just a 7 point town, 2 workers. Not many options left.
Shame.
This town is going to be a little lackluster. Although I do wonder if they'll be able to. No, I don't think they'll be able to put out another structure, which is unfortunate for the network race.
They're just gonna be short.
Yeah.
Well, Swarmlings cleaned up pretty nice in the cults. I expected Orin to dominate, but,
hmm Yeah. The passing in the water cult in the water track with water three was definitely huge. An 8 point swing between Swanlings and Orans.
mhm. Yep.
So I think we are going to see a single dig uh, from Nomads and then increased ship, and that's basically all they've got left. For Swarmlings, we see another increased ship. I think that's all they've got. And for Orans, they build their town. They probably just take the 7 point town and they call it a day too.
Right. Yeah, Green Rain was reacting on his little player cam. I have no idea what he was thinking about there, but he seemed to be a little it looked to be like he was upset about something. Maybe he missed something or something didn't happen that he thought was in his favor. I'm not sure.
So
But
Nomads,
looking
Nomads just gave Orin enough power to trade for a priest, which they could do, but it doesn't really do anything. Like it threatens the air code, but Swarmlings can lock that up pretty easily.
right.
So I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure why he accepted the power there.
Yeah. He's confused. He doesn't know when to accept or decline. He's he's all over the place. Looking at the map position of where we're at though, I mean, this looks like a very standard outcome, I guess. At least for green, blue, and black. I mean, the 3 towns that the Oran have carved out, that's very natural for them in the middle continent up north and over on the east. The Darklings may do in the middle. They got over on the east. They did in the south. 3 towns. I mean, they're gonna find 3 towns somehow, some way. So they did a good job at that. But the Nomads, I mean, it's really uncomfortable to see that bridge town down on the south, but sometimes it happens. And then,
hmm
every now and then you'll see that north just all the way up. up across. And
Yeah, yeah. I think Ryan might have over valued the prospects of scoring for Nomads round three with the shipping and all the dwellings. It was a huge scoring round, but it puts him in an awkward position going into round fours, five, and six, where it's just a struggle to find places to form towns.
yeah, because the yeah, you're right. Because the way you place your dwellings, it's all on these free hexes around the board.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're so spread out, you're not forming towns like naturally. Um, Whereas when the green faction does it, when you're doing that, rush for dwelling or you're putting all your dwellings out, they're, naturally lined up to just go ahead and form in a town.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that is a bit unfortunate for Ryan.
hmm
I wonder if that's why, if he evaluated that dwelling rush from the beginning, or if he just was, bidding so high just because of the lack of neighbors.
hmm
Um, but
Yeah.
as we see, like, the swarmlings practically unaffected from the neighbors. The Orin, they were messed with a little, but in reality, if they had noticed swarmlings had the upgraded digs, they would have gone all game unharmed. And
hmm
then, Darklings, they did more bullying than they got bullied, so
hmm
that was good.
Yeah, those three workers are huge. Like if Oren still has three more workers, they could do another hard dig for another structure and win the game pretty easily, tying Darklings and Network. Whereas right now it's a sweat as to who's actually ahead.
100%, you're right.
And going back to the Nomads game a little more, I think overvaluing B2 also partially led to their downfall, like overvaluing beating Darklings to B2. And as the game played out, losing E3. So they really did not gain anything by taking B2 and accessing all these extra hexes in the north, where they had to give up the Sanctuary as a town spot.
Yeah, no, I think B2 definitely was a little bit of an overstep. I mean, the thing is I mean, you see it right now. The Nomads went up there and they got no neighbors,
hmm
and they gained 1 extra yellow hex, but they had to do all those hard digs. So, I mean, sure, they
hmm
blocked Darklings, but Darklings were always going to connect, it
hmm
seemed. So, yeah, maybe just letting Darklings have that would have been nice. I mean, it does give Darklings a much easier town. So, is that something to take into account?
hmm Yeah, yeah. I think Darklings also responded very well there by connecting through the south. So Darklings never went to B3, and in a way, it like heavily punishes nomads for going to the north. They just have no neighbors up there, and they have to do this connect across the A file as you were talking about to form their town, like go all the way with the hard digs and the sandstorms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just super painful for nomads that Darklings didn't join up there because yeah, that's a lot of easy trading posts, but, they still got all their trading posts out that they needed, so it's just not as, convenient as they wish it was.
So Oran's ending at 13 structures, Darklings 14, and Nomads 15. Yeah, Darklings 14, Nomads 15. This decision by the Nomads may very well swing the balance of the game to Oran's. But I think as we calculated it out, it was right to go for the extra dwelling for the 6 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think nomads were right to go for that dwelling, but it did help Orange just a little bit, not to his fault.
Well,
Or
in this game, just a little bit just might be enough.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the orange specialist coming out with a super strong orange game. I mean, was it expected or I I I didn't know if I
Mm,
should believe him or not, but now I
mhm.
believe him.
Yeah, I think it's uh like it could be predicted from like I think we might have all been valuing the center town, like Orin having the center town to themselves, like not highly enough, and Greenring might have correctly assessed that that was going to allow Oran to develop their game plan much more smoothly, and as a result, form three towns and connect with only one ship. Even though they only get three on third place on network, it's still a very strong game plan for the Orans.
Mhm. Well, here's the final scoring, so we'll let it, tally out, and as it is right now, Darklings and Orin neck and neck, as
Hmm.
we said. But very well played game by both Zikkop, Green Rain. Warack played a really solid game. Ryan, I think everybody played just a really solid game, but I think, a couple missteps here and there by, a couple people. I mean, even if Orin win, even them, they had a
Hmm.
misstep with not securing a hex, costing them 3 workers. But, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, I think they all enacted their game plan very well, very strongly, and it might have been a little misevaluation in the strength of the game plans coming together. But
mhm.
as we see, like Nomads isn't that far behind, and I might have been way too down on their scoring prospects. They're actually in third place, ahead of Swarmlings, and first place goes to Green Rain. So congratulations to Oren.
Yeah, I mean, really well played by Oren. I mean, everything just seemed to go his way too. Like he didn't really have any problems other than that dig. But yeah, even 4th place is super close, 13 points away from however far he is. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think we'll get Green Rain into the booth for a winner's interview shortly.
yep, that's true.
And right, and give you a chance to size up your opponent for the division finals game next week.
That's true. I forgot. I was watching the guy that I was playing, whoever won this game. So Greenway will advance, and he's going to play in my group. Basically,
Hmm.
what I know, if it's not obvious now, is don't play Orin against him. Um,
Hmm.
he's a really interesting player to me. He comes from Snellman, right? So all these people who know him from Snellman say that he's a very strong player, just all across the board. I've talked to a couple players about him. I've done my scouting report on him. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, yeah, the takeaways from this game is I'm just gonna lose to him. Like it's pretty simple. Like I don't know how to beat this guy. Like I've never played him, but that's he plays such a solid game. I feel like even though he lost a hex, he was still able to pull out a win. Like if I lost a hex, I go from 2nd place probably to last place instantaneously. But yeah, I mean, he's a good guy. He's a cool dude. Um,
Hmm. Well, at least you have the option of putting witches into the bidding, so he doesn't get to play Hornets against you if that comes up.
that's true. I'll be curious to play Darklings too, to put Darklings forward. I wonder if he plays that interesting dwelling opening, like I think B4, B5 again. Um,
Hmm.
I think he did that just so everybody thought that he was, he was they wouldn't take him serious. I think that's what it was.
Uh,
Wow,
I'm not quite sure if the lag is from my
man,
side.
what a close game though.
I'm not sure if I can keep up my video. Sorry about that.
Okay, turning camera off.
We're still working on the winner and getting him in for the interview. Um, I think overall, the close game was I was expecting a close game between Orans and Darklings, and expecting Swarmlings to be a bit behind. But I was way too down on Nomad scoring. We're expecting Nomads to get to like 140, and actually pretty close to first place overall.
I didn't really expect it, but, they pulled out a great game. Um, it's a shame they, you know, weren't able to get
Hey,
such easy towns as, Green Rain was. Hey, Green Rain, how's it going?
hi there. Going well.
We
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good game. Pretty tight with Darklings there at the end.
Hmm.
Yes, very close, very close. We've been told to turn our cameras off, so you are the star of the show here in the end. We all eyes on you right now, as they should be. I mean, you played such a great game there. Let me ask you something. What happened with that green hex that got spaded away by the
I,
storm?
I wasn't paying enough attention to other people's games. This is like the difference between Snellman play and BGA is like, I just like, I'm not used to the thinking in real time. And I literally didn't notice that they'd advanced their dig. I was like playing my own game, didn't pay enough attention. And I thought, oh, he has one worker. There's no way he can take it. Um, I felt like such a fool afterward. But I'm glad it didn't make the difference in the game.
Hmm.
It could have.
Yeah, that definitely happens. I remembered from last week, Zoris told me, and we had said it in the pregame, that you are an Orin specialist. So you have now proved that you are an Orin specialist. So were you excited to be able to play the Orin in this game, or were you worried? What was going on there?
I was. I was actually. I mean, I obviously picked the Orin. I I picked them because I love them, and looking at the setup, it seemed really good with the opening stronghold, and then there's that really nice progression on the fire and earth cult in the first 3 rounds. So you got like a worker, 2 coins, and then 4 power, just with the Orin stronghold ability and nothing else. So it seemed like a pretty interesting setup for it. Once like nomads were by themselves, I kind of was like, I felt kind of obligated to bid them because I thought they looked really good. But I was pretty excited when it got to the point where I was like, okay, I think I could beat nomads with a 12-point lead. So
Yeah, no, I was expecting you to play Orin the whole time. Every bid you made in my mind, I was like, this guy is so fake news. He wants the Orin. What is everybody thinking?
yeah,
If I was in
I
this game,
really
I would have
did.
been so
Yeah.
scared. No, I mean, it looked like you had a lot of fun other than when you got dugged on, but yeah, I mean, everything just went so smooth for you too. You got the 3 towns without any disruption. You were able to get all the scoring favors that you needed. I mean, this was just a textbook Orin game. Really solid. Well played.
Thanks. Yeah. The one thing I just want to know, I don't know if you all noticed it. I guess you're not allowed to do math. I I messed up in round 6, sending my priest to air. I actually might have to use the Orin stronghold to go up in air, um, and I was down 2 power to get my last trading post on the map, and Ryan completely saved me from my own like idiocy slash departure from my original plan
Hmm.
by giving me that 2 power. Otherwise, I think that Cobb would have won. So there's definitely some luck in this one.
Hmm. Yeah, so
Um,
like nomads deciding to build their last dwelling next to your temple and giving it that 2 power.
Exactly. I mean, I shouldn't have needed it because I should have used my Orin Stronghold ability, but because I messed up and used the priest without thinking, I then suddenly did really need it. But yeah, so that was the difference maker in the end.
Hmm.
I see in the Twitch chat, Zikkop said he noticed in all caps. He must have been upset that you were granted that. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't think I picked up on that, but I did see at one point you were shaking your head, and I pointed out, I said, Green Rain seems to be upset about something. So if I go back and
that's
rewatch it, that must have been it.
that's like the moment when I was like, sorry, I shouldn't curse. We're on family television here. I was like, shoot, gosh darn it! Like,
Shit.
why did I send my priest instead of using the Orin ability to go up in air? Yeah,
Dang. Yeah, dang Flabbit. Gosh
dang,
darn.
dang it. Yeah.
Oh man. No, that was fun to
um,
watch. Everybody was had some cool things going on. Well played. And it looks like me and you will be playing together. Are you aware of this?
yeah, I am aware of this. I also get a rematch with Barnawall, who had that crazy mermaids game last week. So
Hey, me and
should be
you
fun.
Hmm.
we'll team up on him. Don't tell him. Me well,
Sure,
we can take him down.
we need the U.S. to finish top 2 for sure.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Just don't tell
I'm not
Barnwell.
all, yeah. I won't tell Barnwell, don't worry.
Okay, cool. I won't either.
We were just saying that Claybo's not liking his chances against you next week. So, do you have any tips for him to help him beat you?
Wow, DeepFinesse really putting it out there.
Wow, DeepFinesse, that's quite a question.
Yeah, tell me.
I guess I would say I tend to like I think I don't know why I'm saying this, but just in the interest of being friendly, I think my weakness is I create grand plans in my head of all the ways that I'm going to score as long as people don't mess with me too much, and then the games that I fall apart in, it's because there's unexpected messing with me. So I did notice, Claybo, when you messed up in your game, when you messed up the Eastern continent for the Darklings and Dwarves, I was like, oh man, that's like not the style of player I do well against. So we'll see.
Oh boy. Well, it's a good thing we have an alliance going on now, because I can't mess
True,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm protected from your
Exactly. See,
yeah.
this is the perks.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
But yeah, it was a great game, like really well played by everyone. Like a lot of fun, and sort of interesting to get the exact same. Played another game with the same color layout that I did last week, so got more experience with the yellow, blue, green, black.
That's true. You guys just switch colors, and you're like, I am not playing Darklings again.
I was like, I'm not playing Darklings in this one. That's for sure.
Gotcha. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for today. That was a really fun game to watch.
Okay.
Thanks for putting on a show for us. DeepFinesse, did you have anything you want to say?
No. Yeah, that was very exciting, very close match, very tense until the very end. Looking forward to see two of you show down next week.
Sounds good. I guess I'll be seeing you in the
Good.
future, Green
Looking
Ring.
forward to it. Yep. Talk to y'all soon.
All right, man. Adios.